Hey everybody, it's Krista, and I hope everyone is staying warm. The polar vortex has arrived today, and it is cold. Like, I don't think I have the clothes for this amount of cold in North Carolina because we have not gotten cold in the past few years. So I just came back in from feeding all the animals and putting everybody up, and I was out for about 45 minutes, and I had on my thick Carhartt sweatshirt, and I had on my husband's Carhartt coat, and I had on his muck boots, and I was giving everyone extra hay and, trying to get everyone settled in where they would be the most comfortable and the most warm. The ducks were not cooperating. And my face went numb, my lips went numb, everything went numb, my hips went numb in 45 minutes. And I was like, yeah, I'm not built for the cold. Like, I like a little bit of winter, but I like North Carolina, the middle of North Carolina winter. So I am ready for spring officially. Anyway, I thought what would be better on this cold day, Christmas Eve, than taco soup. And I used to make an amazing taco soup years ago. Back before I had kids, I actually had a food blog. And I went looking for it the other day, and it was still out there. I figured it was. I just wasn't sure, like, if it was, like, still, there. There's been some changes to it, just, I guess, as, like, Blogspot updated. And anyway, but it's still there, and one of the recipes on it was my taco soup. So I will actually link the recipe directly to that blog that I had. And it was called The Garden Gourmet, and you can see my original kitchen and my original garden, and they're still in the header, and, what I looked like 15 years ago when I was a lot younger. Anyway, so I am going to make this taco soup tonight, and it's really easy, but it's very good, and then I will link that recipe into the description box. So come along with me and bundle up and stay warm, and we are going to make a hearty, warm, cozy taco soup. Let's get started. So first thing we want to do is get our hamburger cooking, and I am working on a electric griddle right now. I actually have some dishes and stuff I need to do, and I thought this would be the easiest way to kind of keep everything over here for right now. So we're going to get our hamburger in, and we can kind of keep it stirred while we work on prepping the onions. And I may have to add a little bit of olive oil to this because our hamburger is really lean. This was a young cow, or young bull, actually. He did not get castrated. So we ended up butchering him. He was right 17 months, I think, 18 months, which is pretty, average, I guess. But he was a bull, not a steer. All right, so while that gets going, we are going to chop up 2 onions. Does anyone else do this? Like, if you have a bunch of baking and cooking to do for holidays and stuff, do you, like, put certain ingredients together in certain bags and, like, have them out? Because that's what I have at my feet right here. Like, I have all my baking and cooking things for Christmas weekend at my feet in certain bags grouped together. Should have gotten out my bigger cutting board. I'll go ahead and add some olive oil. And probably go ahead and put the onions in. I made a sauteed chicken in this pan last night, and I actually had it covered, but when I went to stir it, this big bubble just exploded in my face, and it hurt really bad. I did not get any major burns from it. I had, you know, some red patches for a little bit. They went away, so it wasn't anything major, but be really careful about that. And you can hear it popping now, so. Yeah, I screamed. I'll admit it. Put that lid on it. And I don't even have it set up very high. I've got it on like 250. But this thing is hot. Oh, this onion's starting to go. Good thing we used it. It's got one little layer in there. Pull that out. Alright, hopefully this will not pop on me. This hamburger may have been a little frozen in the center still. It's been thawing for like 2 days. And we'll add a little salt to help those onions sweat and flavor the ground beef. Okay, so while our onions and meat are still browning, we're going to go ahead and put the rest of our ingredients in a pot. And I remember this making a lot. I don't think I had a pot this big back then, but I went ahead and pulled out my biggest pot just in case, because I remember it being a lot. So what I've done is I went ahead and drained all my beans and my olives. So what we're doing is 2 cans of pinto beans, or a large can, you want about the 30 ounces, 1 can of the red kidney beans, and I went ahead and drained and rinsed them, and then threw my black olives in there as well so they could drain, and those are going in our pot. Now the recipe actually calls for green olives, but I don't have any of those, so I was not going out on a special trip. And then we're going to add 1 can of the fire roasted tomatoes. The recipe calls for diced tomatoes with chilies, but this is what I have. So we're going to put the fire roasted tomatoes in there. And then we're going to use those red poblano peppers that we used in the squash casserole video. And I don't think I'm going to use all of them. And I will also link when we canned these here as well. So 1 can, I mean, is about this much, honestly. It might be a little hot though, but we'll go with it. Because I did can those in the 4-ounce jars, which is what you would get at the store. Although when you get the can of tomatoes with chilies in it, you're not getting 4 ounces of chili. So the next thing we're going to add is a can of corn, which I have home canned corn. And then 1 quart of tomatoes, which is 2 cans of store-bought. And then the last thing we're adding is 1 packet of taco seasoning mix. Maybe. There we go. And 1 packet of ranch dressing mix. The original recipe I had done was Fiesta Ranch, but I have not seen that in years. I don't even know if they make that anymore. And you can also make your own homemade taco seasoning mix and ranch mix. I used to make my own ranch. I need to get back to doing that so I can control what is in it, because my ranch seasoning was amazing. And I could probably easily make my own taco seasoning, especially with my dehydrated pepper blends. Powder them up and make my own taco seasoning blends. So that might be a winter project. If not, definitely next year, because I'm planning on growing a more variety of peppers. Okay, so I think this is pretty much cooked through. If it's not quite, it's going to simmer on the stove for at least an hour. So anything that's not all the way cooked is going to be by the time that's done. So I'm not really worried if there's a couple chunks of hamburger that have some pink to them. So we're going to dump this in and let it simmer. You're not supposed to be looking for anything. You're supposed to stay out of the presents that I'm wrapping. Do not set a bad example for your children.
I would never set a bad example.
Hey, Dad, I'll help you on.
Don't you do it.
Apparently, I got sidetracked with keeping my husband and children out of the Christmas packages and presents. So I pulled some images from the original blog post from 2009 and placed them here at the end to finish off this post. Here are some finished products of the soup and the blog page, and I will link that in the description below. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you on the next one. Have a safe and happy New Year, everyone.